Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lounge. I'm so excited to be here with you today. There is such great energy in the room today because we are joined for collaboration conversations with a very special guest. Her name is Tabatha. And Tabatha, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what wonderful things are you up to in the world?
Um, I'm very blessed and I have enjoyed 2020 as with all the things 2020 has thrown our way. There still has been a lot of good things that have come with the tidal wave that is 2020. One of those things for me was a bit of a career change that was a return to my roots. I have had since 96 a communications company, a telecommunications company. Although my original work when I started out of college was communications. So this has been the year for me where I've said I'm going to leave my known world of telecommunications and I'm going to move back into the world of communications. And a lot of things have changed for the good and for the is this okay or not, or this is just what I have to roll with, so let's see how I learn with it. But yeah, so the new company is National Coaching Professionals, and the old company was Integrated Communications. So still communicating, and so happy to be here with you today to talk about the different things and the different opportunities that I'm seeing out there.
So, tell me a little bit about what your new company does. How do you help your clients?
So, National Coaching Professionals is an association. When we were thinking and we were planning, we and when I say we, the founding partners, we all have different professional backgrounds, and in our professions, there are professional associations. Nurses, counselors, doctors, clinicians, plumbers, electricians, artists, everyone has a professional association. But what we seem to see in coaching is the associations are about you taking a particular group's training, not so much about an association that is a collaboration of the professional members to bring each other's opportunities to move with your ethics and your mission into mainstream for acceptance. So we were working really locally, and a couple of the founding members. One is a counselor, and one is a social worker, and the other one is a nurse practitioner. And then my best friend works for an insurance company that is doing a lot of accepting. They have a yogi practitioner contracted, social workers contracted, nutritionist contracted, Reiki master contracted, life coach and business coach, because they say health is whole health, right?
Yes.
And that affects the social determinants of healthcare. They affect the health and wealth of the patient. So we started doing things together locally, collaboration, right? And then we said, why are we only doing this locally? So we said we're going to open this up, tell other professionals what we're doing, establish this as an association. And so we called it National Coaching Professionals. And we had planned a conference. Thank you, COVID. So we had to replan a conference. And we did have our first conference, and we called it the Changing Life Conference. And it was in New Orleans, October 8th through the 11th, which was also when Hurricane Laura decided to come along. And then there was Hurricane Delta. And in addition to COVID, there was we just had Hurricane Zeta. So it's just been like dominoes, but we persisted. Wasn't that that was another thing of this year, was persist. So that's a little bit about what we're doing now.
That's wonderful. And I feel like this is perfect for the conversation that we're having today, which is about collaboration. There are some people out there, though, who, collaboration is not front of mind. It's not the first thing that they think about. When you think collaboration, what comes to mind for you?
A joining of ideas and a joining of missions, um, better than I came up with on my own. You know, I've always even in creative, when I worked at an ad agency, we very much would get together in a group and we would discuss, this was the idea, and then you just put it out there. Even if it wasn't a great idea, someone else could take it and they could help you shape it. And this word isn't quite the right word, but someone else will say, oh, not collaboration, but let's say connection. And the diversity that the group brings, right, or even just one or two people, it can grow an idea. And two are better than one, right? Strength in numbers. Now, you do have to have a like mission, I believe, and you do have to have, I know in coaching, people will talk about that heart mission all the time. I believe some shared values are important, but if you're walking towards the same goal, you can have two totally different people because they bring different strengths, right? And they bring different and they have different motivators. So I think that when you collaborate on an idea or you collaborate with a mission, that you have a much greater chance of success having that mission come to life, right? Than if you just say, I'm Tab and I've got this great idea. How do I, okay, I'm going to do it this way, you know? But if you've got a partner or a collaborator, they can help you shape it. Even if you never see that other person, they can push and motivate and share and broadcast. So I love collaboration.
That sounds amazing. I love that you say, together you can grow an idea. It can turn into something that is so much better than just one person all by themselves. That is golden. And I actually wrote that down. And you also mentioned having a greater chance of success being together as opposed to being by yourself. But like I said, there's some people out there, Tab, they are not ready for collaboration. They think collaboration and they're thinking, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I want to do that. Why do you think people shy away from collaborations?
So I actually asked this question last night, and I'm not sure if I can say the group where I asked it, so I'll leave that off. But I did ask it in a group of entrepreneurs last night, primarily women. Why, when someone says, I have this idea for collaboration, would you join me? Doesn't everybody just go, yes, let me in? There were several different answers that I think are really things to think about. One is people don't always come from an abundance mindset. Again, 2020 has been a hard year for a lot of people in different ways. They have, oh my goodness, my bad dog has found a way to talk to me. I'm so sorry.
Please believe that this is 2020. Everybody has their pets at home because everybody's working from home. Everybody has children because they're working from home. My husband was on a meeting with the CEO of a very, very well-known Fortune 500 company the other day, and in comes my toddler who needs to print the life cycle of his pumpkin. Right?
Oh, good. Okay. Well, this is a very spoiled older female dog who thinks she needs to be right here.
Yeah,
So,
and
I did.
And so during this time, the only thing we can do is just give each other
We
grace
forgive it.
because everybody is having the same stuff going on.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, we had a discussion, that she was going to be well behaved, and then I put her in my bedroom on my bed, and I gave her a bone so that she would not be a bad girl. But yet here she is. All right, back to the answer of the question. So the question, why aren't more people excited when someone says, I have an idea for a collaboration? There were several different ladies who spoke up last night in the entrepreneurs group. One said that people don't always come from an abundance mindset. With 2020 being kind of a difficult year, financially, let's face it, it has been for so many businesses and so many families. Maybe there's not that abundance mindset. If will this customer remain my customer, or will they go somewhere else? Possibly, or maybe just what all could be isn't really possible because they haven't tried it before or they haven't experienced it before. But one of the responses was people don't necessarily come from an abundance mindset. Another of the responses was that people could want to hold back. We're not not everyone is the extrovert, open your mouth and whatever comes out like I am. Um, so maybe they're a little more shy or apprehensive about sharing their ideas for fear that their ideas will be shown up or will be not as good as. But in the collaborations that I've been involved in, and I've been involved in many from even back in college when I was a public relations student. We it's a long ago story, but we did a public relations campaign with Levi Strauss, and we won the national campaign. And we used a blue pig, a pig that we dyed blue, and we named her Billie Jeans, right? And we would walk her around campus with our Levi's on because it was just that time back when I was in college. But I don't even remember whose idea that was. There was just a group of us. We worked together. Someone would say this and someone would say this. And so an idea that develops through collaboration, it is as much mine as it is yours, because we birthed that, we grew that together, and then we both have a commitment to it, to see it to fruition and to see it grow and become. So the response that people could hold back because they don't feel maybe that they have as much to contribute are they with coaching. I know a lot of is validation, and a lot of coaches are seeking to establish. So they maybe feel like with the collaboration, they don't have that. It's just me, establishment. It's more the group, so they wouldn't have the recognition that they would have. Again, I don't see that. I see so much a big light on a collaborative project, a spotlight on it instead of a flashlight on an individual, So those were the two responses last night that I thought, yeah, okay, maybe that's why. How would we show people that it's not like that? How would we show people the success of collaboration, and help them overcome their fears and be sure that they are able. Oh, there was one more. Stolen ideas. That someone would have an idea and they would say, oh, that someone took it from me or the group took it from me. To that I say, I guess that's a concern. But are there new ideas, or are there just better ideas now, right? And then I also believe, and again, this is with your connections, and when you've connected with someone, right? Or when that someone's like, okay, I'm trying to work that through. I truly believe that regardless of your religious faith or background, most of us realize we are going to reap what we sow. We're going to receive what we put back out there. I tend to be very faith-based, so that is, reap what you sow. That's a Bible scripture, but a lot of people will say karma. Different people will say, the universe, but it's coming back at you. So I believe that while I can't always get it right because I'm human, if I approach things with an honest intent and with benefit in mind and with giving in my heart, then there will be positive come. And if there is someone in a group that takes it and does wrong with it, that's only going to rain down on them, right? And so I don't see that as a negative for me ever. Has it happened? Probably, but it got taken care of. That's the way I look at it. That was not a good idea for you, but you go ahead.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I love, 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 the feedback that you've given us, because the truth is you're absolutely right. There is sometimes a lack of that abundance mindset. Sometimes it's not there. And I think that might be one of the number one reasons that people hold back. And I like the other ideas that you've mentioned too. I love your blue pig story. That is awesome. I think we
That
need
was an experience.
I think we need to talk a little bit more about that, because that sounds amazing. But when you're thinking of collaborations, and you've had many experiences in that regard, what are some of the do's and don'ts that pop right into your mind? Like, if I'm somebody who's never really had a lot of experience doing collaborations before, and I'm thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to listen to Tab and I'm going to really try this? What are some of the things you think they should really do and some of the things they should avoid?
Trying to think of things to avoid. Um, I I will speak more from my personal
Yeah,
point
if
of
you
view.
have stories to share, this is a perfect time for that.
I tend to, so we recently had the Changing Life conference, and I'm kind of the popcorn person, and I think it and right out it goes. And I wasn't the good kid in church because if the preacher said something, and I'd be like, "What did he say?" Or it was funny to me, so I wanted to share it with somebody. So my mom was giving me the stink eye, and the pointing the finger at me. Um, I know that for me, because I can be a little much, that when I'm working with someone, especially new, that I have to kind of take a breath and give them a second and an opportunity. And for me personally, especially if it's someone who's not as, like I am, that they don't always approach everything with the same energy. So I need to kind of match that energy so that they have a comfort level and they'll go ahead and express, and then and for me to receive. When I'm working with my partner in National Coaching Professionals, the two of us work pretty closely together. And we recently did one of the personality studies with Coach Jen Builder, and I'm a D, figures, and he's a C. And I'm like, come on, dude, you are killing me with your list. And he's like, you just make a decision and you don't think, and so when we work together, we actually work really well together because he is kind of the tortoise and I'm kind of the hare, but we slow each other down till we get that pace. And I think in collaboration with someone coming into collaboration, you know that you have a place and you have value and you offer something. We all offer something, right? Um, some of us have better vocabulary, some of us are better with people, some of us are better analytically, some are better observers and they read body language. Um, there's just so many different things and ways to connect. So I would say with collaboration, no, you were invited, right? You were invited, you were valued and recognized and invited to the opportunity. And so you're already appreciated, you're already acknowledged. Um, and don't lose sight of that, even if you're sitting there and they're like, I don't know what they're talking about. um, you still have a place at that table, and there'll be a point in that progression that it's your point and your opportunity to speak out.
I love that. I'm looking over here on our Facebook. I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us over on Facebook. Hi, guys. So happy to see you. Lynn says, great point about the energy match, being able to match energy. And I thought that was a great point too, because like you said, we're not all, at the same energy level. And the fact that you're so self aware that you make space for the other person's energy to come in as well, that is amazing. And I think in collaboration certainly, but in life in general, just making space and having grace for the others around us is tremendous. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful gift that you have, that you're able to recognize that.
Well, I will tell you that my father taught me that because I just vibrate sometimes, and he will just look at me and he'll say, you're going to have to stop and slow down and say all of that again. So I'm like, okay.
Here we go again.
All right,
Awesome.
Dad.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. It is such a lovely, lovely pleasure to be talking with you. And you know, I think there is an opportunity for us to really continue this conversation going forward. But I have a couple of questions that I want to get in before we end today. Have you ever had any collaborations that were kind of outside the box? Kind of like you never thought that this could have been a great collaboration, but there it was presenting itself.
Um, I it's a little bit of a personal story. I'm a bit, we won't use names, so I
Protect the innocence
yeah,
at all
protecting the innocent.
costs.
So I I am looking at another small business with a friend of mine, and this it's, you could say it's collaboration because it is two people together, but it is also a friendship, and then I think we're going to grow into a business from that. But I do have a dear friend who is a United States veteran, and he has had a lot of issues with some trauma and PTSD as a result of the active combat service. And we talked about doing a business together, and but he wasn't really in a place to be a partner, um, and to move. So I stayed there, and we would talk about it when it was like an idea. We would I never shut it down. We worked on the creative. We built a logo, but he would come and go because of what he was personally dealing with, right? But I would like to say that over the past year, um, it's a whole new man. He's worked with therapy and with his mindset. He reads a lot of proverbs. Um, he has a new truck. He has a new house. He has a new girlfriend. Um, and we're going to go forward with our business at the end of this year. And for me, that's a collaboration, but it's also a friendship. But it was one of those things where we talked about when people aren't necessarily in the same spot, but yet a concept is good. And that's been a different one for me. I never wanted to say, no way, dude, I don't know how this will ever work out, because it's been a process of almost 3 years, and just batting around ideas. He will just go away sometimes, and which would never work for me as a business partner. But he had a lot, something he wanted to do, but yet a lot that he had to work through to get to the place where now we're going to have a corporation together and a partnership together. And I'll tell you what it's going to be if you want.
Sure.
So down in New Orleans, we love to share life and music and fun, and we are going to have a business together called the King Cakery. And the King Cakery is going to send king cakes and pralines and Mardi Gras masks and beads, the spirit of New Orleans, the party to you. It's for businesses who look for that kind of different thing to send to their customer instead of a cup, a cap, a ham. Send them the spirit of New Orleans, right?
I
And
love that.
so,
That's
yeah, so it's
awesome.
called the King Cakery. And it was actually, I'm telling you, it was his idea, his concept. We kind of turned it into more of a project where it's not just a king cake you're sending. We're not baking them. There's bakeries all around town. Um, we're we are collaborating with a group here called Piro Prawling Company, and they are a nonprofit, and they specifically hire autistic children and children with Asperger's and give them jobs, right? And they make these fantastic sugary treats called pralines. So the little box of pralines, and then the mask, the beads, the kazoo, the fun stuff. So we want to include a couple of different bakeries and Piro Praline, to let people know about New Orleans, and then send them the package, or let them send the package to their customer. We'll do all the shipping for them, so that the customers can have a king cake party. They can have a party, just it's something different. But we think it will be fun, and not too terribly demanding of our time. And it's called the King Cakery.
I absolutely adore that. I love all pieces of this story. My favorite thing about this is that sometimes when we get the intuition to get involved with collaboration, it might not mean that the collaboration's happening right now. Sometimes we're getting the information ahead so that we can get ready for when it's supposed to happen. And being aware that sometimes, even though you have the idea, it's not an idea for right now, is really, really, really a great thing to know. So I love that story. I love it so, so very much.
Sometimes you need
Awesome.
that, you need the hope, you need the plan, you need the dream
Yes.
to be able
Yes.
to move forward and move to different places in your life too. And So that was, I guess, a story that's a different type of story.
Yes.
But, it's getting there. Yeah,
It's
it's been a process.
wonderful. Well, I send you all my most sincere congratulations on coming up with this great idea together, and of course that your business will be a tremendous success. And I'll invite you to go ahead and when you're ready, post in our Ladies Power Lunch group about what it is that you guys are doing, any promotions that you're having, or anything like that. So before we close out, will you let our listeners know if they want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Um, my name, Tabatha, Tabitha, at ncp.health. NCP stands for National Coaching Professionals. And you can, it's a lot to type out. So we just did ncp.health. And National Coaching Professionals is the association that I'm working with. And there's a web page and a Facebook group. And we really are all about collaboration for our members. Um, yeah, I'm excited about it. We've done a lot of different things. I won't pitch any of that. I'll just tell you that our members are very like-minded. They share with each other. They're saying, I have this event, you want to speak? We're working on an industry magazine. Um, Different programs. I know that while we have done this, they have actually had a training class, and it's free to all the members that want to participate. One of the things that we are doing is there are counselors and coach that are coaches and therapists that are coaches, licensed medical practitioners that are coaches, and they are doing training for suicide awareness, and they're working on a referral process and referral connections, so that if you have that client and you're coaching them and you recognize that they need to still have you, but be working with a professional, you understand how to do a handoff. You've got 800 numbers, you've got some connections there, another collaboration. So we don't want coaches overstepping their bounds just because we're in an unregulated industry. We have to realize to do no harm. This is one of the trainings that's going on, and it is just a part of our membership. It's not an additional charge, it's just a benefit. So we try to do things like that. And anytime somebody has a suggestion, we try to collaborate on it and come up with it.
I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tab. It was just such a pleasure, and your energy is so bubbly and effervescent. Really, really liked having you here. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us. All of you over on our Facebook page, thanks for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you next time when we have Ladies Power Lunch conversations. Take care now. Bye bye.